Hello, welcome back to another episode of Charla Football. I'm your host, as always, Gerardo, with me, Tomas. And as you guys can see, we finally upgraded our setup. So this is what we've been waiting for. So we've been doing this shit online for almost a year now. But now it was time for an upgrade, a much-needed upgrade. First off, for us, because we deserve a space like this. But then also for you guys, our 600 subscribers. We're very close.
Small community.
Yeah, we're a small community, but this is gonna help us reach that next milestone, which is 1,000. So make sure you guys subscribe, like, check all the platform links down below. Help us get to 1,000. That's the first milestone. But yeah, today we're gonna talk about Mexico's roster. We're gonna talk about the preview and predictions for the games against Japan and South Korea. Two very intense matchups. And very exciting matchups because this is the kind of matchups that we could very well be expecting in the World Cup, playing a team like Japan and South Korea. But Tomas, just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for pulling up in person in short notice. And thank you for helping me out with this setup. This shit looks clean, bro. Yeah. We made this shit really look clean. I know you guys can only see part of it. And if you guys follow on Instagram, you probably could be able to see more of it. But yeah, just keep stay tuned for more content like this. Stay tuned for more live content as well, because like I said, like I've been saying, we're just starting, bro. This is just the beginning. How do you feel like just being here, like actually being able to talk in person, like in a professional setup?
I mean, it feels exciting because we've been talking about this for the longest.
Yeah.
So now we're actually able to live it out.
Yeah, I remember you were the one that actually pushed me to like, hey, let's start the podcast. Let's push like for an actual podcast, because like I had flirted with the idea and I started the page, but then like it was you and me that were just like, okay, let's actually put this shit into fruition and like start make a logo and I mean we've changed so much and so much has grown in the past like year and a half, bro. Like we're at what 14K.
Yeah, I mean we're at 14K and at one point we were like at about 1,200 and then it got taken down.
Yeah, so it's a lot of ups and downs that we've had, but I mean it's part of the process. But I'm just happy to be here, happy to talk Mexican national team. We'll be talking about all things as well: Premier League, Champions League, Liga MX. So make sure you guys stay tuned, please. All right, before we keep waffling on, Japan and South Korea are the next matches. These are the kind of matches that we've been hoping for for the longest. I mean, we could talk about all the partido moleros that we've seen in our recent years. Playing against like Nigeria, playing against Algeria, playing against Nicaragua, Australia, Guatemala. Like these are the actual, like even playing in the Gold Cup, we didn't see like the best level that we could have seen of football from the Mexican national team. And that's because every time Mexico plays against a subpar opponent, they always drop to their level. And that's why we saw them struggling against teams like Suriname, against teams like, who else did they play against in the World Cup?
Suriname, they played against Costa Rica.
USA, Dominican Republic as well. They gave them a good game. So we always see them struggling against like what are considered lower level opponents, with all due respect, in comparison to Mexico. But then when they play against Turkey or Switzerland, like we saw their level definitely rise up. Although against Switzerland we got battered, against Turkey we saw a good version of the Mexican national team, even suffering a little bit. But those are the kind of games we have to play against and prepare for, and which is why I'm excited to play against Japan, because they're a really good team, bro. And let's just look at their convocatoria real quick. They got like, I want to say 15. Most of their squad plays in Europe, and some of them play in the best teams in the world. I mean, look at Endo playing at Liverpool. He just played against Arsenal over the weekend, coming off of the bench. Guys like Takefuse Kubo, who plays for Real Sociedad, that is always competing in La Liga for those top 6 spots, European spots. We also got Mitoma as well, who plays for Brighton. He's a baller in the Premier League as well. Just to name a few of them. And then South Korea, of course, they always have some ballers too. Yeah. Talking about Kim Min-jae, Hyun-min Son, just a little less than Japan, but little fun fact about South Korea: this is their 11th consecutive qualification for the World Cup. Same thing with Japan. Like, I don't know how many times consecutively they reached the World Cup, but both are like programs that I think Mexico should aspire to be like.
I mean, if you think about it, since the 2002 World Cup, since that Korea-Japan World Cup, it's they've risen in level. I mean, that's when all the players like Honda, Kagawa came out of both countries respectfully. And I mean, they just developed since. Yeah,
and I mean they're gonna keep developing. That's kind of been their goal. I think Japan have like I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but they have a.
No, they have a strong developmental program.
But they have a certain name for their development. Yeah, it's like an actual like how we have like Rumbo al 2030, like that's our program. They have one like Japan World Cup champions 2050. So like this is like obviously it's a long process because that's what it takes to be a World Cup winner. It's a whole process. It's a development from like 5 to 10 year olds up until like they grow into their prime age. And I mean, we're starting to see that. We're seeing a bunch of players playing in Europe. Japan, obviously, they've given some crazy results in World Cups before. Like the most recent one at was it 2022 or 2018 when they were like topping the group for a moment with Japan, with Spain, Germany, and Costa Rica, I believe. So yeah, these are two programs that definitely Mexico have to kind of copy in a similar fashion because we know Mexico's been in the mud for quite some time.
Well, not only that, wasn't Japan like a few minutes away from eliminating Belgium from the 2018 World Cup?
Yeah, they're a tough opponent, so that's why I'm really excited to face a team against them, a team like them. We're gonna play them in Oakland. That's the first match that we're gonna play, and I'm expecting a very difficult match. I'm not saying it's gonna be an easy win. I know some people probably believe like, Japan versus Mexico in Oakland. Like, well, obviously we're gonna have the home crowd, home advantage, but Japan are technically gifted, really team.
Japan have more quality players than Mexico right now.
Yeah. Definitely, they're playing in better leagues. They're getting more minutes in the better teams as well.
Not only just that, but if you see how these Japanese teams have been playing these past two tournaments, referencing the World Cup, and even in their confederation, you see that they've developed this just this ability to play between themselves that is of teams of higher levels.
Yeah, and that's why they're playing and competing with like the best teams in the world. Talking about Germany and Spain and all these ones.
I mean, even Belgium. I remember for most part of that match, they were dominating Belgium for a minute. I think they were up 2-0 or 2-1 for most of the match.
That's crazy. So yeah, that's why it's going to be a really good match. I think maybe this is going to be the one that's going to be the most difficult. I think South Korea is a match maybe a little bit more in favor for Mexico. But in this match, I could really see like a draw, especially given the players that we have. We're missing a lot of our, I guess you can consider our gems, especially in that midfield. Talking about players like Gilberto Mora, who's really is a difference maker, Elias Montiel, and then Obed Vargas, which we're not sure if either of those last two would have gotten the call up for this if there was no under 20 World Cup. But they're definitely difference makers in that midfield.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been saying for the longest, Elias Montiel could really use that call up over Charlie Rodriguez. We know what we expect from him. And I mean, even Montiel, seeing him, he doesn't shoot that frequently. He averages about 2 shots per game. But even then, he scored out of Madrid, with the deflection off of that. So that's a plus that Charlie doesn't have.
Yeah, especially being a lot younger and more like he needs more of those tests to really continue growing.
And he does have a higher ceiling. I mean, Madrid was inquiring about him. Obviously not at the higher levels, but the lower level coaches, they were saying, who is this kid? Like, maybe he could play for...
even Florentino Perez was over here asking about him. Xabi Alonso was over here praising him in a press conference as well.
No, the thing is, like, what's realistic for him, obviously, at that point with Madrid would probably be, Madrid's second team. Where La Castilla. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, Montiel is at a level where he's playing professionally, making money. He wouldn't probably want to go to La Castilla. But there's teams out there that would probably want him, teams like Ajax, Fenerbahce.
All right, get out of here.
Nah, fuck with you. But like Ajax, PSV, Feyenoord, teams that have proven to have a history with Mexicans.
And a successful history with Mexicans.
Even in recent times where we haven't produced that many talents.
Yeah. So, those are definitely the players that we're missing out on. Obviously, this is kind of from the lineup, from the convocatoria that Mexico put out. It's more so what we got at the moment. It's pretty much all that we really can put out. Especially looking at that midfield, we have Edson, Lira, Marcel, Charlie, Pineda, and Eric Sanchez. And I off the top of my head, I already know which two could easily be kicked out for, these better youngsters, up-and-coming youngsters. Eric El Chiquito Sanchez and Charlie Rodriguez, like you mentioned. They could easily be replaced by Gilberto Mora and Elias Montiel. Obed Vargas is the more that's like, people are like iffy about calling him up. He's been called up one time, I think, for the friendlies in Guadalajara. But that's where... we'll see.
When we played U.S. in Guadalajara, he played about like 7-8 minutes.
Yeah, he didn't get much time.
But he was pretty active for a player that only played 7-8 minutes.
Yeah. Keep in mind, he's also young. At that time, he was 19. Now he's 20.
I feel like what really proves him, or what really brings this idea of being able to be called up, was this game versus Inter Miami. He's playing players that maybe they're not at their highest level they're not at their peak.
They're not in the prime, yeah.
They still have the quality. Yes, they're a bit slower, obviously, and he was able to keep up with Messi. He got a few tackles in Messi. He was able to juke Jordi Alba, which, Jordi Alba still has that experience where he's able to defend very well.
Yeah. then he got smacked by Busquets and laughing at Suarez after.
Yeah,
But that shows character. I mean, maybe it's not the best character to kind of put out, especially like after just winning a final. But I mean, if you're not scared to do that against some of the best players that has ever played the game, I mean that shows a little bit of personality and balls too, bro.
It's kind of like this. Like the Mexican culture is like, it's really rage bait. A lot of rage baiters, especially in football. People rage bait so you can react, so you can foul them or hurt them, or in a sense where it benefits them. Well, yeah, just to make fun of Suarez to his fucking face, it's insane.
Yeah, it shows, like I said, it shows some balls, and that's what some of these players, like even players like Charlie Rodriguez or Chiquito Sanchez, and not trying to talk down on them, but some of them just like need a little bit more personality. That's why we saw in the final for the Gold Cup, we saw Gilberto Mora playing over Orbelín Pineda, over Charlie Rodriguez, who had both. Charlie was at least starting the first and second match, I believe, but then he got taken out right away because they're just not players that have the personality to play with the Mexican national team. They do good with their clubs, respectively. But when it comes to the Mexican national team, Charlie, with all due respect, hasn't done much. And then Orbelín, also, he'll have his moments of brilliance, but it's more so coming off of the bench.
Look, it's like this. I think it's like this. Look, Javier Aguirre is known for being this coach with a big personality. So he likes to have players with big personalities. And we've been seeing this. We've been seeing players like Raúl, like Gilberto Mora. Like even Mateo Chavez, who has a big personality as well. Even though you go to the right back position, Julian Araujo is a bit quieter, but Javier Aguirre's personality allows him to put whoever the fuck he wants, and as long as they're performing.
Yeah.
That's why we've even seen him take out Ochoa from Malagon.
Yeah.
Which is something.
And not even calling him up now.
Exactly.
He doesn't have a club, so he shouldn't be called up.
Because he has this fucking personality where he doesn't give a fuck. Now it's kind of like every other coach before that saw that Ochoa was deteriorating and still didn't have the balls to put him even on the bench.
Yeah. It shows the flexibility that both Vasco and Rafa Marquez have, but then also they're not scared of all the pesados in the locker room. They know they're thinking about what's best for the Mexican national team, and that's what we've wanted for quite some time. And finally, we've been getting it, which is why we've seen good results, which is why I'm hoping for good results in this match as well, against Japan, against South Korea as well. And I think it will happen. Maybe let's go to the Japan game first. What is your prediction against the Japanese? Do you think we'll get a draw, win, loss?
Honestly, off of pure quality, I don't see how we compete versus Japanese. I think it's probably going to be a game like similar to how we played Canada. Defend very well first, attack second.
Yeah, maybe a set piece or something.
Yeah, when we attack, make sure we don't get counterattacked, something like that, because
they have some shifty midfielders and forwards.
Like the natural Japanese player is known for being so fucking shifty and quick. It's just like a Chiquito Sanchez but with 7% body fat. So it's like very different.
Yeah, they're technical. They're very technical players, especially this new wave of Japanese players. They're different. We see them in the Premier League all the time,
So I feel like Mexico maybe has the advantage because on average, other than Min Jae,
he's from South Korea.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying over these two matches, on average, what we do have over these two teams, which are pretty similar, is size, which is really not something that Mexico has.
Yeah.
Over any other team, when we play versus the Germans, the Austrians, Netherlands, when we play versus the U.S., we usually don't have size in our favor.
But now
it's kind of the only match where we do.
Yeah, which is why we've seen on set pieces, we've been kind of benefiting a lot recently, especially in the Gold Cup. We scored 4
or 5.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the teams that we're playing are on average a little bit shorter than the average Mexican, and especially when you have Cesar Montes that's 6'5" and John Vasquez is 6'2", I think, and Raúl Jiménez, which is around 6'3", so it kind of fits right into your.
I don't think Raúl Jiménez is 6'3".
I think he's 6'3".
He's not 6'3".
Check it.
He's probably 6 foot.
Because Santi is 6 foot. Santi's 6 foot, and Raúl Jiménez is taller than Santi.
Oh shit, you're serious? He's 6'2". He's pretty tall.
I'm pretty close.
Yeah. Damn, you're right. My bad, bro. I didn't mean to judge your football knowledge.
I just remember because that was one of the reasons for the Wolves. When he was called up to Wolves, it was one of the reasons they wanted a player over 6 foot.
Well, yeah. So now, talking about Japan and my prediction for the Japan for the Mexico game, I think we can get a draw. I don't really see us winning this game. I can see maybe a 1-1, 2-2. But overall, it's going to be very difficult to get a win. Maybe just a home advantage might give us a little bit of plus, but I don't really see us getting a win.
I'd say a draw as well, but I mean, if for some reason we get two very good set pieces, I don't think Japan. Well, fuck, I don't know. We'd have to really line up defensively, which I feel like we have been doing.
Yeah.
But I feel like it'd be a tough game where, as Vasco, I don't feel like would really be in the mind of having a tough game. Maybe he is. Maybe I'm wrong. But he might, have some subs here, put some.
I wonder if he's going to put out his best lineup for that game.
That's what I don't know. Because if he does put out his best lineup and he's treating it as a World Cup match, then I'd say maybe we win, 2-1. It's going to be scrappy. It's going to be hard. But if he has more of a sporadic lineup, he starts with Charlie Rodriguez, the players that we know that aren't going to be there.
Yeah.
South Korea, Japan might even beat us.
Yeah. And then I'm also wondering like what the formation is going to be and if Chucky Lozano is going to fit into that formation. I mean, obviously he could easily slot into left wing or right wing, but right now we know that left wing spot is, it's open. Both wing spots are kind of open, but Alexis Vega, honestly, he's been one of the better wingers in the MX, and while it really hasn't translated into crazy form with the Mexican national team, he's still been pretty decent. He's had a few assists in the Gold Cup, and obviously, hopefully against South Korea and Japan, he should show up as well. I don't think, based on performances alone, I think he should still stick to that left wing spot. Maybe on the right wing, that's where we've seen like Piojo has been struggling a little bit. He didn't really create anything at the Gold Cup. I don't think he had a goal or assist at the Gold Cup. I would like to see maybe the Chucky Lozano on the right wing because we know he could take on players. He can cut and shoot with his left. He can also put a good cross in with his right.
My thing as Chucky Lozano as a winger, I don't think he's ever worked out. At least for La Selección.
Yeah. He's had like a few moments. That's pretty much it.
He's had a few good moments. He gave us that goal versus Germany and then...
A few goals against Belgium, against Russia as well.
Yeah, Russia as well. That 2017 Federations Cup, he did fairly decent. We thought he was the next, I don't know, the player we haven't had in a while.
Yeah, it's because he is the difference maker because of how he's more technical than most of the players that we've had in recent time, and he's fast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. This guy, I remember in his prime, he was running as fast as
Jurgen Damm.
No, not even Jurgen Damm. No. He was like a few milliseconds from Dembele's same pace.
Yeah, that's why PSG wanted him at some point.
Yeah, when he was good at Napoli.
Yeah. Like now, obviously, his form is kind of dipped. That's why he's playing in MLS, but he's shown that in MLS, he's still a decent player. I wouldn't say he's the best player on San Diego, but...
It's just, my ideology is this, right? I wouldn't take players that I know that their careers no longer matter to them. Like, Raúl Jiménez is older than Chucky.
And he wants to stay in Europe.
He wants to stay in Europe, so, take him. Whereas Chucky's kind of like, oh, I'm comfortable, I'm gonna go to San Diego, live in a 2-story house in the suburbs of San Diego, right next to the beach. And it's kind of just like, I don't want that player. I want the player that still has that hunger to live in cold, not even cold weather, but uncomfortable
in uncomfortable circumstances, yeah.
Because Chucky, why did you go to San Diego? Because, you're right in the border of your home country. You have the beach right there. You have,
you're going to be getting paid a lot better than probably what you're getting paid at PSV as well.
And not only that, just comfortable living. It's a more comfortable lifestyle than Raúl living. When you're in England, we just went. It's fucking cold.
Yeah, it's cold. You got people like getting ready to shank you and stuff.
Yes, it was summer and it was
on guard.
On guard. No, but like, it's just England isn't.
I'm gonna wet you, mate.
It's just a whole different culture to what you're accustomed as a Mexican. Where even us as Mexican Americans that we understand the language, we still were like, damn, like it'd be fairly difficult for anybody of our similar culture to live here. Mm-hmm. Because it's just so different. Yeah. You have to really like it or really like what you do there. And I think that's what Raúl Jiménez, he really wants to compete.
He wants to prove himself.
He wants to prove himself that he's able to do it not only in the Prem and what the Prem represents, but for himself because of what he went through.
Mm-hmm. And that's why he's still performing so well. And yeah, unfortunately, Chucky Lozano, he went back, probably just getting his bag in MLS. But what the president shows is that he's still a consistent player, at least in MLS. So let's hope that we can get the best out of him, like right here in La Selección Mexicana. I think he just needs this chance with Vasco and Rafa. I think maybe he could do well. But really, if in these next two games, if he gets at least over 90 minutes in both matches, and he doesn't do anything, I think that's more than enough to see, like, okay, maybe he's not really the player that we're looking for.
I don't think he is. We've seen him before. He hasn't been called up for a while.
Yeah, but to be fair, who was he playing under? He was playing with Tata Martino. He was playing with Osorio. He was playing with. I mean, Osorio was probably where we saw his best version. With Tata Martino, with Coca, with Jaime Lozano, with like he was now he has like a true like a serious coach. To be fair,
A Mexican coach.
A Mexican coach.
Serious Mexican coach.
Yeah, I mean, Jaime Lozano is a Mexican coach,
He's
but
not
like
a serious Mexican coach.
yeah, he wasn't what Mexico needed in the time.
Jaime
So-
Lozano is the perfect developmental coach where you grow up with this idea that the coach is there for you and the coach is your friend and the coach helps you out, talks to you. He's more of a therapist.
Yeah, that's more for like club. Honestly, that's perfect for club. But
Yes.
Vasco is like a national team coach where
Yes.
it's like you come in, you do what I say because you're representing your country, and that's
Yeah.
like the message he's been showing since day one. It's like, oh, you're here because you want to be here.
Not only you want to be here, you represent your country every time you come.
Yeah, and you're gonna put fucking balls and sweat and blood into every single match, which is what we've been seeing from every single player, and what we haven't seen from Chucky Lozano in who knows how long. That's why I think with that mindset that Vasco transmits to his players, I hope that translates into Chucky Lozano, into his mind, and he's able to show that onto the field. And I think we will. I think with that, like a hungry version of Chucky Lozano to prove himself with the national team under Rafa Marquez, under Vasco, I think we can get a good version. But like I said, it's really I would only give him this opportunity because if he really doesn't show up, then what's the point of calling him against like bigger clubs or bigger teams? You know, against like Portugal, against potentially a Spain, a Belgium. Like if we can't get him to perform against a Japan and a South Korea, what's to say that he's going to do even better against a greater opposition?
Yeah, and then it's kind of this. It's just so difficult for me to think Chucky Lozano to be back in this
Yeah,
because it's kind of. I mean, I feel like we have better players.
yeah,
I do. Even like a lot of people will argue that Chucky's better than Chino Huerta, and I think at one point Chucky was way better than Chino Huerta.
Yeah.
He was miles better than Chino Huerta. He was playing at Napoli. He even won a Scudetto
Scudetto.
with Napoli, and he starting most of those matches as well. He wasn't that goal scorer that we were accustomed to see him in when he was in Netherlands. But he had a strong role in that Scudetto.
Yeah, he was more of like he did like the dirty work,
The
I would
dirty
say,
work.
for
He
like
defended very
Osimhen
well.
and Kvaratskhelia.
No, he defended very well, recovered the balls very well. I mean, if you watch football with your eyes, which a lot of people don't, kind of just read the stats after the match ends, you know that he played a pivotal role in having that Scudetto. Now going to the Chino Huerta, I think Chino Huerta right now versus Chucky, I think he's better. He's more technical, and maybe he's not faster than him. But I just think he's better than him right now. Right? That's just my thoughts.
That's a crazy take, chat. Let me know what you guys think.
I mean, a player that's playing in Belgium, maybe he's not playing every game. I think he's playing only the cup games right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think he started in a few recent matches, but I mean, he hasn't done spectacular either. I mean, especially this new season. So
It's just I feel like just being in Europe alone gives you this.
gives you a little bit of
boost.
a boost that
Because you're
plus against your
On the day
counterpart.
to day, you're competing with players that are a higher level than you are when you're in the MLS.
Yeah, I
And
agree
it's
with that.
Not to shit on the MLS. That's the reason why MLS exports so many players because they want them to play for the U.S. national team and have a stronger version. When week in week out they're training versus better players. Every weekend they're playing versus better players. Every midweek they're playing versus players of their level. It's kind of just like that, and I just feel
That's how you grow at the end of the day.
I feel like Chucky's in a position where he's like, you can only get worse now.
Now let's move forward to the South Korea match. Like I said, South Korea, they have some good players. Some players in Europe, not as heavy as they are in Japan with the Japanese, but they do have obviously the all important player, Heung-min Son. We've already played against South Korea in the past before, so we have some history with them. Obviously, I think the most recent time was the 2018 World Cup.
2018.
And obviously, we beat them 2-1, goals by Chicharito and Vela, I want to say.
Yeah, penalty.
So right now we have their number. Also with Japan, we have their number. I think we do have a better result against Japan. I don't know if they've beat us, maybe ever.
I don't think
Maybe like one time in like 1968 or something like that. But
I don't remember the last time Mexico has lost to an
Asian team.
not an Asian team in general, but like that whole confederation, which is like Oceania, or something like that.
No, that's
Asian-
Asia. It's Asia.
Asian, AFCON.
It's just Asia. I mean, it's just Asian
The
qualifiers.
Asian Confederation. I don't remember the last time Mexico lost to a team from the Asian Confederation.
Me neither. Yeah, but with South Korea like on the verge, obviously that's a game against after Japan, so I'm expecting a little bit more rotation because this is a team that on paper, it's technically like lower level compared to Japan and Mexico, but definitely still a good competition to be facing up against. Obviously, both of these teams already qualified to the World Cup, so there are two teams that we could potentially face at the World Cup as well. I think this is a game that Mexico should comfortably win, or maybe that's a little bit disrespectful. Maybe it will be a win. Maybe not as comfortable, but definitely I could see like a 2-0 win.
I mean, looking back to that 2018 World Cup, thinking about the players, I remember everybody was saying, Mexico should have this game in the bag 3-0, 4-0, 3-1.
And it was a tight game.
And it was a tight game the whole game. I mean, we were up 2-0, but South Korea didn't stop attacking.
Yeah.
They tried to keep going forward. Yes, Osorio studied that team fairly well, that South Korean team, and knew what he needed to do, and he played it safe. He didn't risk so many men forward, but still it was a tight game.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like if that was, and I remember people saying these pundits, oh, they only have Heung-min Son, that's it. You ice Heung-min Son, Gallardo ices Heung-min Son, that's it. It's a game.
But it's still like you can isolate one player, but then you got to watch out for the rest of the players. And maybe they're not to the level or quality of Heung-min Son, but as a unit, we see what they
They're
can
strong.
do.
That's what I'm saying. So now
that's why they're one of the best in their confederation.
Now we're talking about 2018. That's 7 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while, 7 years, right? And they've just gotten better.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it. Heung-min Son is obviously older. He's still quality.
Yeah.
He's in the MLS.
But he's still quality. Yeah. And I mean, let's look at their convocatoria real quick, because I'll be honest, I don't know every single player that got called up, but I know they have some familiar faces. Like I said, Kim Min-jae, Son Heung-min.
That's about it.
The thing is, I don't understand like the clubs that they put right next to it, because they put it in Korean. Yeah, I really don't know. I think most of them do play in the Korean league. So who's that one?
Junsu, I don't know. He plays. It says FC, so I'm assuming it's it's in Europe somewhere.
See, this is why. I mean, with all due respect to the Koreans, I'm sorry if there's any Koreans out there, but we don't know many other players.
Look, out of both of those players, let's go into the players that are the mostly known, which is Heung-min Son and Min-jae. It's kind of like.
I mean, when you
Heung-min Son's probably the only thing that I'd be worried about.
But I mean, Heung-min Son will get locked up against a Johan Edson and
Cesc out of get isolated. Yeah. He could get isolated. Now it's kind of just that help that his 10 and his other winger.
That's going to be an interesting matchup, though. Thinking about it, Rodrigo Huescas, if he starts that game, if he didn't start against Japan, versus Heung-min Son, because that's going to be his rival, direct rival on that flank.
I feel like maybe for that game, Vasco might go for like something similar versus Canada, where I think it was like a 3-5-2, and it ended up being Piojo.
That was another question I wanted to ask, but kind of before we start wrapping things up too, like the formation. Are we going to see something different? Obviously, I wanted to ask Vasco this at the pre-match conference. We're still waiting for our credentials. I guess we'll see. But what formation are we going to see for these matches? But then also, like, are we going to test something out, or are we pretty much set on a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1?
My formation for Japan would be a 4-4-2 to start off in the first half, just to see what they're proposing, then switch.
Like switch in-game?
Switch, not in-game, at half.
Halftime.
See what are they proposing to attack? Are they letting us have the ball? Are we able to possess the ball? Or are we really just, seeing how they attack us? Once we figure out how they attack us, kind of switch that formation to see how we can counterattack them.
Yeah.
Because Japan is going to have the fucking ball.
Yeah. They're an intense team. They're going to try to take the ball away from us.
Exactly.
I feel like South Korea are going to be a little bit more defensive, and we're going to have more possession in that match.
That's what I'm saying. So versus South Korea, I'd switch it to a 3-5-2, where we're able to go forward, but also recover. Especially with a player like Piojo, where, yes, he's not having his best moment, but, I mean, we know what he brings. We know he's going to fucking track back. We know he's going to run. And then after Piojo, you could have that switch with Rodrigo Huescas.
Yeah. I personally would go Rodrigo Huescas because he's, like, going forward, he's impeccable.
Yeah, he's impeccable. But it's kind of like, who defends better? And I think Piojo does.
Rodrigo Huescas also is a great defender. He plays in a 4-back in Copenhagen. Now he's playing Champions.
I'm not saying he's not, but with Rodrigo Huescas able to lock up Davies?
I don't know. We've just never seen it. We haven't seen it.
I don't think so. He locked up the Honduran. What's his name? The left winger? Exactly.
That's not fair, bro. That's not fair. I think Rodrigo Huescas does deserve at least a start in one of these two matches. I think he will.
It's just
But that's just focusing on the right back alone. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What would your ideal formation be for first against Japan, then against South Korea? And if you're keeping it the same, or would you rotate in these matches personally? I mean, I think if you want to get the most out of this convocatoria, you definitely have to rotate.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
But then think about that left wing, Mateo Chavez or Gallardo.
I want to see Mateo Chavez start in one of these matches. Maybe against Japan, because I feel like he's a little bit more technical than Gallardo. And I want to see that matchup, Chavez versus Kubo. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Kubo on that right wing. So that'll be a very fun matchup, to be fair. So overall, both these matches are going to be very intense. I'm very excited. For South Korea, we didn't give a prediction. Or did we? You said how many? 2-0? I said 2-0.
I think South Korea, I think, is going to be
A little bit more comfortable.
it depends how they plan it. But if it's a serious match, I feel like they can win 2-0, 3-0. If it's a match where they're kind of rotating, I feel like it'll be a loss or a tie.
Okay. So I said draw against Japan. You said draw against Japan too. Let me know what you guys think, your predictions for both of these matches. Hopefully, if you guys are out in one of these matches, we can catch you guys. We'll definitely update in stories. So make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, check out all the platform links down below. If you guys like the setup, please drop a like. Drop a comment if you want to see more things in the background. If you want to donate some jerseys, let us know. We got to definitely put some more jerseys up here. But yeah, this is gonna be something new. So just stay tuned for more content like this. Peace out, guys.